Hello, everyone. I'm Chef Rob Stinson, and on this episode of Fit to Eat, we're cooking up shrimp basilico with gluten-free pasta and baked, not fried, green tomatoes. We're going to bread our green tomatoes with flaxseed so the whole meal will be gluten-free. And we'll start talking about some of your options if you're on a gluten-free diet. Stay with us. Today, I'm working with gluten-free angel hair pasta, which can be found in most supermarkets as well as health food stores and online. Gluten is a protein that is found in certain grains, such as wheat, barley, and rye. Gluten is also added to a lot of foods that are low in protein, including soups, broths, salad dressings, and used as a thickener. It's fairly common in processed foods. Gluten-free diets have become more popular of late, mainly because of an illness called celiac disease. Celiac is becoming more common, found in about 1 in 100 people. What about people who don't have celiac? Well, some of the benefits of a gluten-free diet include weight loss, better cholesterol levels, better digestive health. So there's many reasons that you could enjoy a gluten-free diet. And I tell you what, I see it more and more with my friends. What we're going to do today, and I'm going to kind of close in on some cooked gluten-free pasta and some fresh dried gluten-free pasta. All of this is easily available. Now, the nice part about having cooked pasta, and this wasn't true about a year ago, the process of gluten-free pasta has gotten better and better. You can actually cook this pasta ahead, put it in a resealable bag in your refrigerator, and hold it that way so you don't have to go through the trouble of every time you want to use it for a meal, cooking it fresh in water. And it's a trick I use at home all the time. I love to have cooked pasta, and I'll keep it there maybe 2 or 3 days it'll hold. All right, now, what we're going to do to initially get ourselves started with this dish, and you know, the name of this dish is Shrimp Basilico pasta. And it's an Italian dish that centers, obviously, basilico, basil. And the neat part about it is basil is a surprisingly healthy herb. Basil has anti-inflammatory properties, so there's lots of good reason that you might want to eat it. Now, as I'm doing this sauce, you're going to notice it's all fresh ingredients, lightly cooked, natural juices, and I think you're going to find it's one of the more flavorful pastas. So what we've done, and I did this in a low saute pan, that's where I'm going to cook our pasta. And typically, when you're cooking pasta, people always want to add salt into the water. You really do not need to. What I'm going to do is add a little bit of cracked pepper, and the reason you add that salt, it imparts it into the pasta while it's cooking, and all we're going to do is throw a little pepper into that water while it's cooking. Now it's going to take it about 4 or 5 minutes, and in the interim, what I want to do is get started on the whole idea and the preparation of this dish. We've got another saute pan that's going where we're going to actually cook the food items themselves. Let's talk a little bit about what goes in though. Fresh chopped tomatoes. I'm using cherry tomatoes today. It really doesn't matter what you find. And then you have to have that fresh basil. Look at that beautiful julienne strips. Why? When you're using this in the sauce, you want it to kind of permeate the whole sauce. So you don't want it in big leaves where you get a big bite. It just overwhelms you when you get that big bite of basil. Fresh minced garlic, and I've had lots of questions about this. When you're using fresh minced garlic, I don't buy that prepared garlic that comes in water or oil in the store. This is just simply fresh minced, so you get it right out the clove. Now, as this pasta starts, one of the important things when pasta is cooking, at the very beginning, move it around a little bit so it doesn't get stuck to each other. Doesn't take much at all, though. I'm sure most of you have cooked pasta, and this gluten-free pasta is very similar. All right, now where we're going to go with this, we've got a little wine we're going to deglaze our pan with. I'm also using a little vegetable stock in this sauce, And that's instead of using butter. Typically, this dish would have butter, and again, remember, we're trying to keep the fat content out of our food, and it won't really hurt the flavor at all. Fresh mozzarella, and this is the fat-free version, and I tell you what, it's a wonderful way to add some flavor into the pasta without adding any of the calories. And then obviously, the star of the show are some beautiful, fresh Gulf shrimp. And I love to use product that we get right here from Mississippi, and they're peeled and deveined, so it's very easy to eat this pasta dish. You know, one of the things I've seen, and you know, I struggle with it when I'm doing a dinner party. I love the way the tail looks on the shrimp when you're cooking them, but when you go to put it into a pasta dish, it just takes such an effort to get the tail off the shrimp while you're eating it. So I like to go to using these where you've completely peeled them. All right, that pasta, as you can see, is already getting pliable. And you want to cook your pasta to where it still has a little meatiness to it. You know, they call it al dente in Italy, and it really means cook with just a little bit of a bite left. And the beautiful part about this pasta is that being gluten-free, when it first came out, it wouldn't really hold its shape well and it would be brittle. The new version that they make that's gluten-free, I swear, you wouldn't really know that there's anything different about this if you've got the right sauce on top. And what we're doing in this dish has no salt. So you've got so many great healthy things going on, and I think it makes it really fun. Now, let's take our pan on the other side and get started with the sauce. Half a teaspoon of oil. So again, use a diffuser on the end. So that way you can spread a nice coating. And what we're going to do is I'm going to move this closer and switch these pans. So it's a little easier to view, and then at the same time, watch our pasta. Okay, pan is good and hot. First thing that's going to go in, going to be a little bit of our garlic. We're using about a tablespoon. We put our shrimp in. Want to get those to blend in with that garlic. Little cracked black pepper all around, and remember there's going to be more sauce, so it looks like a lot of pepper right now. It's not. Move the pan. Okay. Throw in our cherry tomatoes. They have all the juice in them too. We're going to take about half of our basil and throw in first, and then immediately we're going to deglaze this pan with our wine. Gets nice and steamy, and you can see the shrimp have already turned a nice, beautiful pink. And let's take a look over here, and our pasta is basically done. Gonna let it go just a minute more. Add in our vegetable stock. Turn that heat off, believe it or not. It's done, and throw in the rest of our basil. So as quick as that is, it's amazing how Italian cooking is so quick. Where we go right here, we're going to drain our pasta. And we'll set that over on the side so that we've actually got our pasta cooked, our shrimp, along with a little bit of the added juice sitting on the side. And where we're going to go with this at the tail end will be to add in the mozzarella last. So we're going to hold on that idea. And, you know, let's talk a little bit about basil. Basil's surprisingly healthy, as I said. It's got anti-inflammatory properties, which means basil can provide some relief from such problems as rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel conditions, and it's also an antibacterial when it's been shown to fight bacteria that has grown resistant to some antibiotics. So, again, what you put in your body has a huge impact on your health and well-being. Come right back.
Ag Ventures is an opportunity for fourth graders in the local area to come and have an adventure in agriculture, to learn about where their clothing and food comes from, and just have a great time being here at the Mississippi Ag and Forestry Museum. We'll have 5 educational stations, which include livestock. They'll actually get to see chickens, horses, cows, rabbits.
You see the down on them? That's fluffy. Where do you find down? Where else do we find down? Think about something in your house. Pillow? That's right. Pillows. We found down feathers in a pillow. That's why those pillows are so soft.
And then we also have forestry and wildlife exhibit on the nature trail.
She'll start producing milk.
We hope that they learn something, obviously something that they didn't know, that they know where the cream comes from that makes their butter, that they know a little bit more about caring for livestock, the importance of that, as well as you know, composting and maybe growing that vegetable garden in their backyard, the importance of just agriculture in general.
All right, and we also have popcorn. Is everybody familiar with popcorn? Yeah! Y'all know how popcorn works?
Yeah, put it in the microwave, pop.
There's less family farms in the state of Mississippi, but agriculture is so important to our economy, and so we just feel it's important to try to at least keep that appreciation for our Mississippi farmer out there.
Welcome back. You know, everyone loves fried green tomatoes. They're a staple of Southern food. But look, they have about 380 calories and 28 grams of fat. A lot of that comes from the fried part. A green tomato by itself contains less than a gram of fat. So we're going to bake a healthy crusted version. And to keep it gluten-free, we're using flax seeds for the crust. Really interesting to see how popular green tomatoes are. And you know, when you look at them this way, you'd think, wow, this is not something you would typically think of as a tomato. But I really enjoy that. Now, we talked a little bit about flaxseed, and I know what you're thinking. What is it, and why would I want to eat it? Well, flaxseed was cultivated as early as 3000 BC by the Babylonians. Recent studies have suggested that flaxseed may have a protective effect against cancer, particularly breast cancer, prostate cancer, and colon cancer. Flaxseed can also help in the fight against cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and inflammation. So I tell you what, there's all kinds of good reason, and I mean, look at this. It's a beautiful ground product, and I'm going to go into a little more detail of that, but you know what we're going to do first? Let's go through and slice our green tomato. I want to show you how easy. They cut easier than a normal tomato because they're firmer. We're going to cut them about 3/8 of an inch thick, just a straight cut and straight down. Got a little bit extra, you can use that in a different marinade salad, so don't throw it away. But we're going to keep these slices on the side for the moment. Now, let's get into talking about our mix of what we're going to put them in, because like I said, we're not putting this in corn flour, corn, you know, meal. We're not doing any of the traditional. Ground brown whole flaxseed, ground golden flaxseed, and this is a lighter variety whole. And why do you want to use a little bit of each? It's the best way to get the same uniform flavor to compare it to a normal breadcrumb. I've tried lots of different combinations, but I find using all 3 of these gives it a perfect consistency. Now, that in and of itself wouldn't give you much flavor. So we're going to add to that some cracked black pepper, some garlic powder, not salt, onion powder, and again, not salt. Move those all to the side and stir that together well. Okay, so we've got our mixture. We've got our sliced tomatoes right here behind us, and we can remove those. And where I wanted to go with the next step of this is to make a light batter. Skim milk, all right? Doesn't need to be whole. Now, if you're really concerned on watching your cholesterol, you can use simply the egg white. Mix it well. And that really becomes the glue for the breadcrumbs. So we're going to dip it in, put them back into the mixture. Okay, and then this is going to immediately go onto a little small baking pan. So let's set that on the side. All we're going to do is take those finished and put them there. So let's do all three. Very easy, simple and light. Want to get a nice little even coating on them because that's what's going to give them flavor. And the last one, and these are going to go in the oven on high, 450 degrees for about 6 minutes. And if they come out and I don't quite like how crisp they are, we'll just throw them into a pan. Let's go ahead though, bring them over to the oven. And I tell you, that makes it so nice. Now, let's do a little housekeeping here, moving our products over. Got a little sanitized napkin here. And what we're going to do now is make a light tomato aioli. Aioli in Italy is a homemade mayonnaise. So obviously you're thinking, how are you going to do that healthy? Very simple. We're going to take a Greek non-fat yogurt, put in the center. Then we're going to add in a little of an actual tomato paste, about a half a teaspoon, so not much at all. About the exact same of fresh minced garlic. A little bit of cracked black pepper, about an eighth of a teaspoon. About the same eighth of a teaspoon of balsamic vinegar. I love to keep it in one of these bottles so you have it readily accessible, and I use it all the time. And then some chopped basil we're going to add in 2 stages. So let's go ahead and mix that nice and thoroughly. So you want to get that tomato throughout. You're going to see it turns into a beautiful sauce. Now, I'm going to go back to that oven and add a little spray in just a moment to help crisp those. And all we're going to do is about a half a lemon squeeze. And that's perfect. To move this out the way, stir that in, and you've got a beautiful, tangy, homemade style aioli sauce. And I tell you what, it's great flavor, and you'll see we're going to add that when we put this dish together to those fried green tomatoes. I'm going to sprinkle that last basil in because we're going to make it look so pretty when it goes on top. But let's go back to the oven and check these. And I'm going to spray them with a little bit of our zero fat spray. And now we're going to go ahead and actually turn the heat back on our shrimp. Because I tell you, we're going to want that dish nice and warm. We're going to put the pasta directly into the pan. And it's a unique way of actually getting that flavor into the pasta. So we'll bring that pan back up to temp. And people watch when I cook pasta like this, and I put the pasta into the sauce, and most people just simply pour the sauce over the pasta when they're done eating. It's such a nice touch to get that flavor into the pasta itself. And it won't take long, and we've got our beautiful gluten-free pasta in there. And look at the beautiful color. Now you're wondering, that last little bit of basil. Basilico pasta would be nothing without beautiful fresh basil. And it's starting to get warm again. We're going to let that kind of absorb all that great flavoring. And I want to say something. You know, everybody worries, well, gee, you know what? My pan, when I did this, looks a little dry. If you don't want to add the wine at the end because you don't want to taste the alcohol, water will work great. And it'll also pull all the flavor off the pan, just like deglazing a pan with wine. So we're going to toss it at this point, and look at that. The colors in this dish I just love. You know, and it's funny, wouldn't matter what time of year it is, but around the holidays, I love doing this dish because the red and the green, it's just so vibrant. But it's like white, green, and red. I think the Italians did this because that's the color of their flag as well. Anyhow, looks like it's coming up to temp nicely. Going to come back to this aioli and give it one little final stir. And I tell you what, when we come back, we'll put it all together on a plate and talk about the nutritional facts. And remember, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/MPB Fit to Eat. Don't forget to like us. Come right back. Welcome back. Let's talk about some of the nutritional information. 426 calories, 24 grams of carbohydrates, 40 grams of protein, 18 grams of fat, and 2 grams of fiber. So you can see the way I've plated this, I've got our green tomatoes, baked not fried, on the side with a little of our beautiful tomato aioli. I put the pasta on the bottom, underneath the beautiful shrimp, tomato, and basil, because basilico should show the sauce. And I mean, that just gives you so much flavoring that it's incredible. Now, a fresh mozzarella is going to be a little bit more in calories. Use it sparingly. We sprinkle it, and I'm talking just as a garnish and to add a little bit of flavor. And I love to finish putting on here some of our fresh basil, and you can throw that all around the plate for color. I swear I don't think I could ever get too much basil. But the nice part about this is it's guilt-free, and I really think you'll enjoy the way that this dish comes out. So where we're going to go in the future, we'll be talking a little bit more about gluten, and gluten is everywhere. And I know my gluten-free viewers are having a hard time finding gluten-free diets, so we wanted to devote an entire episode to a gluten-free meal. Now, we will be talking more about gluten-free options in future episodes and on Facebook. For now, join us on Facebook and share your gluten-free recipes and experiences, and anything you see out there that you think might help benefit us, let us know. Thanks for watching. Rob Stinson with Fit to Eat.